Most of us are aware we could qualify for Social Security when the time comes. But what type of potential Social Security benefits could there be for your dependents? Hi, I'm Matt with Carlin Financial Group. For the best retirement information and to help make sure you don't outlive your money, take a moment to hit the subscribe button and ring that bell to be notified when we post new videos. In our last video, we talked about Social Security spousal benefits, but Social Security could provide benefits in other cases as well. For instance, if you have dependent children or grandchildren, a disabled child, or even your parents. So let's talk about benefits for children and grandchildren first. Unmarried children can qualify for Social Security benefits as the survivor of a deceased parent who is entitled to Social Security benefits, or as the dependent of a living parent who receives Social Security retirement or disability benefits under certain circumstances. First, they must be under the age of 18 or 19 if they're a full-time student in elementary or secondary school. They could also qualify if they're 18 or older and disabled from a disability that started before the age of 22. A dependent child can receive up to half of the benefit of a parent who is receiving retirement or disability benefits. Now, that benefit paid to the child will not decrease the living parent's retirement benefit. If the parent's deceased, they can receive up to 75% of that worker's benefit. The number is calculated as a percentage of the benefit that the parent would have received if they continued working until retirement. Grandchildren who become dependents of their grandparents because their parents passed away or they became a dependent for some other reason could be eligible to receive benefits based on the earnings record of either of their grandparents. Great-grandchildren cannot qualify, however. As we mentioned, children with disabilities can be eligible for Social Security benefits, but the application process and the requirements can be quite a challenge. Social Security requires that the child have a physical or mental condition that severely limits their activities, and it's expected to last more than 1 year. In addition, the family also must have few, if any, financial options themselves for providing the care they need. They'll look at the family's household income, other resources in making that decision. If they do qualify, the child could receive up to half of the parent's full benefit, or 75% if the worker has died. If the child's 18 or older, they could also be eligible if they suffer from a disability that, again, began no later than the age of 22. I do think it's important to note that there are other government programs, such as Medicaid, that could possibly help children and adults with disabilities. As a final note, child benefits to dependents are subject to a family maximum payout from Social Security. The total family payout varies, but it can range between 150 to 180% of the worker's full benefit amount. If the total amount payable to all family members exceeds that limit, Social Security reduces each person's benefit proportionately, except for the parents, until the total equals the maximum allowable amount. Now finally, even some parents could be entitled to a survivor benefit from a deceased child along with that worker's children and spouse if they had been dependent on their child's income before death. So here are the circumstances. The parent is at least age 62. The parent was receiving at least 1/2 of their support from the deceased worker at the time of death or at the beginning of the deceased worker's disability. The parent provides documentation proving the support they were receiving and that it was at least half of their support. The parent is the natural parent of the deceased worker or became the step-parent or adoptive parent before the deceased worker reached the age of 16. The parent is not entitled to a retirement insurance benefit equal to or exceeding the new benefit. The parent has not married after the worker's death, and the deceased worker had enough credits. The dependent parents of a deceased worker who are 62 years of age or older can receive up to 82.5% of that worker's benefit for one parent or 75% for two parents. A lot of numbers and a lot of different things to talk about concerning Social Security. We thank you again for joining us today, and we hope the information we've shared with you has been beneficial. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this video or you got some good information from it, share it with a friend, give us a thumbs up. And again, if you'd like to become a client, you can apply by hitting that link in the description. And as always, live today, plan for tomorrow.